1969. Bill Della prepares to bounce the ball, starting the third quarter of the 1972 Grand Final. It's Carlton 18-6 to Richmond 10-9 as we open up the third quarter. And we notice that the triple Brownlow medalist Ian Stewart is on for Richmond. Ricky McLean, who started off at full forward, is off. For Carlton, Waite, who injured his ankle seconds before the halftime siren, is off. And Lucas is on. Changes in both teams. It's Carlton into attack. There's a long hand pass by Chandler. It goes over here towards Lucas, who's just come on. Lucas, a long kick down into the goal square. Nichols is behind. Couldn't quite take it. Nichols takes it now. 1 point. 1 point. Bobby Skilton, can you pick up any significant changes in the lineup for the Tigers?
Well, Ian Stewart is... no, it's Sheedy in the centre of the... still playing in the centre. Haven't quite been able to pick up where Stewart is playing at the moment. Half forward flank with Kevin Hall picking up, replacing the injured Vin Waite as the ball's taken by Adrian Gallagher. Gallagher's kick goes high in towards centre half forward. Walls is there, and Walls a great mark. He's been a great player all day today. Robert then putting a little bit of an act, trying to get 15 yards. He's kicked 3 goals. And as was mentioned by Ron Barassi, probably the most instrumental player on the ground as far as Carlton's score on the board is concerned. As Walls' kick, it's off the side of the boot, it's close to the boundary line, it may be out on the full, but yes, just out as young Lucas took that mark. A 15-yard penalty being played against Lucas for not throwing the ball back on the full. John Nichols coming back, indicating that I would say that the ball would have been out of bounds anyway. But nevertheless, umpire Bill Della's in control, and the kick will be taken by Wayne Walsh. Walsh's kick, a shocking kick by Walsh, but a 15-yard penalty paid against John Nichols for running over the mark. Umpire Della, I think at this stage, indicating that he is not going to let control of this game slip away from him.
Doing a great job.
A very good job, Mike, but it's been I would say, a good game for an umpire to control. The way that both sides have played is a lovely kick this time by Walsh, but it's Jones who's up high. Another one of Carlton's great players today. Jones has really taken the position of number 1 ruckman. Grabbed it with both hands. He's rucked all the first half as Jones' kick goes in towards centre half forward. Jackson comes out, but Jackson's mark has been paid. Sid Jackson. Jackson goes for the drop punt. It's a high kick. It's down towards the teeth of goal. Nichols is up high from behind. Couldn't take the mark. Keogh comes through, breaks away. Gets a kick towards goals. But unfortunately it bounces away from the big ones, and 1 point only results. Trevor Keogh, a very active player for the Carlton side. Well, for that matter, what Carlton player has not been so far? Carlton 18 goals, 8. Richmond 10 goals, 9. 8 goals, less a point, separating the two sides as Dick Clay puts the ball to the outer side of the ground. Robertson well up before acceptances, would have given away a free kick anyway. Richmond being penalised on this occasion as umpire Della brings the ball back to give the free kick to Francis Burke. The free kick was there, naturally, but I would have been inclined to think that Della would have let the play go on with Richmond being in complete control of the ball.
Hunter's gone to full forward for the Tigers.
Burke, as soon as he grabs the ball, runs straight across the half-back line. A long drop kick by Francis Burke down to centre half forward. It's Royce Hart. Hartspoon, who has been fairly quiet so far in this game. Well held by Bruce Dool. Hart's kick, it's a lovely kick right down towards the goal square. It's Baum in front, and a great mark by Neil Baum. Baum's right on the teeth of goal virtually, only a couple of yards out from the line. He's kicked 2. A handy forward pocket play for his side. Neil Baum directly in front, only 12 yards out. It's right through. That's Baum's third. The 2 forward pocket players, Baum at one end, kicked 3 goals. Nichols at the other 4. Both players so far being permanent forward pockets.
And we're 4.5 minutes coming up into the third quarter of the 1972 Grand Final. There's Neil Baum. David McKay watching him. Can Richmond get back into this game? They started 2s on favourites for the 72 flag, but Carlton's first half showed that there's no such thing as a good thing in football. There's another ball being brought out. That's the 3rd ball that's been used here at the MCG. Bill Della in control. Getting overcast here in Melbourne as Jones goes up, taps it down, but it's sharp by Sproul. His kick up towards centre half forward. Hart from behind knocks it away. It's taken by Kevin Hall. He runs into McMillan. Hurst gets it over there to Armstrong. His kick is smothered. Through comes Hall. Sproul across towards the triple Brownlow medalist Ian Stewart. He trips. And he'll get a free. A free to Ian Stewart. He's almost at centre half forward. Watch this fellow place a ball. There it goes into the forward zone for the Tigers. The ball knocked away, but it's taken by Hart. Hart pushes the ball across to Baum. Baum picks it up now and from the pocket blazes away. One behind. Ronnie, anything can happen in the game of football. But right at this stage, you'd have to be enormously optimistic to see Richmond taking out the flag.
That's true, Mike, but they've had 21 shots in a half, and they're capable of scoring very quickly, so it's not a unassailable lead, as you would automatically think from the 7-goal lead, but they're playing well still, Carlton.
Southby kicks out. It goes to the half-back flank on the member side of the ground. Taken there by Sproul. His kick is a short one. Intercepted by Dixon. Dixon of Carlton tries to kick it in towards the centre. Here's a go. Burke in front, but Highwood rather in front. But coming through there was Robert Walls to shark it from him. Walls takes the run. Kicks down towards Jesselenko. Jesselenko and Dick Clay. Look at them hugging each other. Through comes Nichols. Nichols a long hand pass across here towards Lucas. Lucas into trouble. Jackson off the ground. Hit the post. Good effort. Wayne Walsh limping there. Obviously his knee. As we wait once again for Clay to kick out. Yes, Bobby.
You mentioned Walsh, so Graham Bond was also in a bit of trouble there, walking around behind the goals, Mike. As Dick Clay kicks in, he goes to the outer side of the ground, looking for Francis Burke out there. It's punched away from Burke, but a free kick has been paid as Ian Robertson was nudging Burke in the middle of the back. Francis Burke, as usual, a good player, one of Richmond's few on today's game. He drives the ball into the centre of the ground. There's a pack forming as it's knocked away. Through comes Morris of Richmond. His high kick goes down to the half-forward line. Southby leads well out, but it's taken by Sproul. A long hand pass looking for Neil Baum. The bounce favours Baum. He hooks the ball. He tries to hook the ball back. But good play by O'Connell. Put so much pressure on Neil Baum then that his kick went straight off the boot, out of bounds on the full. And we find Jeff Southby waiting for the ball to come back to him.
Carlton very often described throughout the 72 season as a dedicated professional team, and they're certainly displaying that here at the MCG today. Carlton 18-9 to Richmond 11-10.
I think the crowd have decided that they've got another ball, Mike.
Oh, there's some geese around, aren't there? They interrupt the whole flow of play doing that sort of thing. I suppose small things amuse small minds. There's a fourth football to be used coming out now. And then this dense crowd, I guess it would be impossible to work out who's actually got the ball.
There must be people around the person who's got it, Mike. They're as much to blame when you think about it too.
Too true, Ronnie. Well, a new ball eventually. And it's Dixon with it. Dixon in the back pocket. Kicks out towards the half-back flank. Players move in for it there. Baum goes up. Couldn't take it. Taken by Armstrong. Armstrong's kick was almost intercepted there by Francis Burke. Through comes Robertson. Couldn't get it. Armstrong picks up. Armstrong down towards centre half forward. Richardson backing back. Just couldn't hold the mark. And through they come. There's Bond. He's grabbed by Jesselenko. The ball is knocked away. They're scrambling for it. It's called play on by Della. Della's giving the players every opportunity to make their own breaks. Very sound umpiring. Bounce at centre half forward for Carlton. Nichols comes in too late. Jackson's there, pushes the ball out, taken by Keogh. Keogh manoeuvres around, a left footer going down forward. Here's a go. Walls! Oh, blimey, how did he get that? He's kicked 3. He was 1,000,000 to 1 to even get near it.
Fantastic mark, Mike.
Oh, and he's only, what, 5 yards out. He's on an angle, but he shouldn't miss it. Carlton well on the way to breaking the grand final record score. As Walls kicks through, and at the 9.5-minute mark into the third quarter, Jesselenko giving Walls some encouragement. Carlton are 19-9, 123. Richmond 11-10, 76. Incidentally, the record score for a grand final was created by Essendon in 1946 when they beat Melbourne 22-18. Was it, Ron?
That's correct, Michael.
22-18. Well, we've got a long way to go in this game now. And Carlton are 19-9. Back in the centre, it's umpire Bill Della bouncing the ball. The players set themselves. Jones goes up there, but Stewart goes for the knock too. Taken by Dixon. Dixon, a long hand pass. It's intercepted by Walsh. Walsh of Richmond kicks it right into the forward zone. Hunt has the chance. Drops the ball. Couldn't get his boot to it cleanly. They're fumbling. Balm off the ground. Puts it through. That's his fourth. His second in this quarter. He's the only goal kicker for Richmond in this quarter. And Richmond look a little bit healthier at the 10.5-minute mark. Ron Barassi, let's hear a comment from you.
Well, that's possibly the only move for Carlton which they made pre-game in their plan that hasn't quite come off, because Neil Balmer's kicked 4 goals in the pocket against David McKay, but the rest of the team's done the job so well it hasn't really mattered. There's Sproul roving very well at the centre bounce. He gets his kick under pressure up towards Royce Hart. He's another player who... It's called play on. Well, that's an amazing one. It could have been touched near the kick. That's the only explanation I feel for that one. However, the play goes on as a free kick is given to Kevin Morris. He's been one of the few good Richmond players today, and he's got the kick now. A good 75 yards from goal. We'll put the ball in the square. It's a good kick. Dropping a little bit short. Up there is David McKay. Oh. That is unbelievable. Fantastic mark by David McKay. One of the best high marks in the league. He got the ride and kept the ball as well. That was a classic mark and probably the mark of the day so far. Here's Jones and McKellar. Jones doing a McKellar on McKellar, touching the ball away. No attempt to mark, and Peter Jones has been a big force for the Carlton side today, playing disciplined football, marking and rucking superbly. Here's Jones and McKellar once again. That's Jones again gets knocked down, but Spell intercepts. Is tackled by Armstrong. Lucas, the 19th man coming in, gets his kick under pressure up to the half-forward flank, where Highwood and Jackson duel. A free kick almost to Dixon. Dixon taps the ball on to Jackson. Doesn't come off. Richardson gets the kick up towards the centre half-forward position where Royce Hart maybe is there. Could get a free kick.
Yes.
Well, he's one man who perhaps could pull Richmond out of the hole, but Bruce Doyle has got a firm hold of this player so far.
He'll kick this.
Well, he'll need to. This is a tremendous pressure kick for Royce Hart. He's 50 yards from goal, 45-degree angle. Will be a good kick to get this through. Coming in now. It looks pretty good. It's drifting in beautifully. That's a goal. It's a captain's goal. If they go on from here, they may well look back at that goal by Royce Hart, whom you see in the screen, and say that was the turning point in the match. But we'll soon know. There's the score, 19-9 to Richmond 13-10.
That's his first goal for the match, Royce Hart. Just repeating that Carlton have not beaten Richmond in a final series since 1920, 52 years ago. Can Richmond get back into it after looking hopeless at half-time? There's Jones now of Carlton. A long hand pass goes across to Robertson. Robertson of Carlton down towards a forward pocket on that outer side. And as you can probably realise from your screens, it's getting very overcast in Melbourne. I don't know whether it will rain, just having a look at the sky. Oh, it could before the match is over. Nichols and McKellar go for the tap out. Nichols taps it down to Gallagher. Gallagher gets it around the neck. No doubt about that. Highwood's going crook. Well, you know where his neck is, son. And Gallagher would need a mighty kick to put this one through. He's a long way out. Have to kick it 60 yards. It's on its way. It's well offline. In fact, it's over the boundary line on the full in the forward pocket. And look at Gaggs. Not too happy with himself. Waiting for the ball to be returned. Bartlett will take the kick. Bartlett in the back pocket on the outer side of the ground, kicking from the Richmond end. It's on its way. Players move in for it there. Up they go. It's Richmond. Oh, Francis Burke just can't take his grabs cleanly. Picked up by Robertson. Over to Chandler. Chandler now breaking clear. Chandler down to the forward zone. The players fly. Keogh's in there. Nobody able to pick it up. Oh, Dixon. Yes, the kicking in danger rule. Umpire Bill Della demonstrating to Ray Boynage why he gave the free kick to Dixon. You saw it quite clearly. And the Richmond boys completely nonplussed at this stage. Dixon is 10 yards out, directly in front, kicking to the Richmond end. Oh, it's a shocker. He's put it out of bounds on the full. Well, Bobby Skilton.
Well, Dixon kicked a glorious goal in the first quarter, Mike, from almost the same position, but that was a shocking kick by Dixon. Then as Walsh's kick goes well up the centre of the ground, Sheedy coming through over the top of the ball, can't get his hands out to it. Armstrong's there now, he can't gain possession, gets a push in the back, but it's called play on as Morris comes out with the ball for Richmond, drives it right over the centre of the ground. The bounce of the ball favours Richmond as Royce Hart leads Dool in the race for the ball. Is Hart there, gets a hand pass on, looking for Paul Sproul. Sproul's coming down, he's shepherded by Neil Baum. Sproul tries to hook the ball back, but unfortunately his kick goes straight over the boundary line on the full. Richmond just cannot take a trick. The ball coming back very quickly on this occasion. The wiser heads are prevailing down there at that moment. Jeff Southby now will put the ball back into play for the Carlton side. The ball travelling from one end of the ground to the other very quickly then for Richmond. As Southby's kick, it's a nice kick as usual. Goes down to the half-forward line. Jones is up high, couldn't take the mark. Gallagher grabs the ball, puts it back high over his shoulder. Sheedy there from behind. Almost a good mark by Sheedy. Could have nearly been paid. The ball's knocked over the boundary line and we'll find a throw in front of the members' stand on the half-forward flank for the Richmond side. It's McKellar and Jones. Jones gets a knock. It's taken by Armstrong. Armstrong gets a hand pass through to Gallagher. Gallagher hooks the ball back into the centre. All on his own as Robin Walls, the man of the match, you might say. Walls puts a short one into the centre of the ground. Finds Robertson. Robertson's there. He takes plenty of time. A glorious drop kick. Finds Nichols. John Nichols right down there. A lovely drop kick by Ian Robertson. Perfectly positioned. Nichols has kicked 4. I would be amazed if he does not bring up his 5th.
He's a colossus.
He has played the full game so far in the forward pocket. Peter Jones doing all the ruck work as Nichols lines the ball up. No doubt in the world about it. There's his 5th. His 5th and Carlton's 20th. Carlton 20 goals 9, Richmond 13 goals 10. Almost 7 goals once again, as each time Richmond draw a little bit closer. Carlton at the moment seem to have that little bit to be able to come back. It was a great piece of play then. It was a team effort. Walls made position at centre half forward, put the ball across to Robinson and he topped it off, getting it down to Nichols.
Coming up to 18 minutes into the third quarter. Barassi, take that smile from your face.
Why should I, Mike? Well, here's Paul Hurst coming through, couldn't gain the run of the ball. Royce Hart is there, he's under tremendous pressure though, forced to go to his right foot, gets the ball up towards the half-forward flank, going across the pocket and out of bounds in front of the new stand, favouring the Richmond right pocket. Throw-in will take place now. Neil Barn, David McKay. We haven't seen him contest very much in the ruck today. Adrian Gallagher comes through with the ball. Under pressure, gets the hook kick over his shoulder. Doesn't go far, but it gets out of danger. It may not even be 10 yards, but yes, it is. It's designated 10 yards by the umpire, who paid the mark, so therefore that must be so. Here's O'Connell with the kick now. He'll take the chance to drive Richmond out of trouble. Armstrong with the kick from the pack. He's been a tremendous player today, Armstrong, and he's not a player who's really killed him today. Robert Walls, he gets his kick over to Alex Zizelenko. Dick Clay slipped at the crucial moment, had no chance of recovering. And Alex Zizelenko will drive up to John Nichols with no doubt about this. It's a great kick. A big chance for Nichols here. Every time this duel is on, it's a tremendously interesting one because everyone's wanting to see how many goals Nichols can kick. Here's Lucas now, all on his own, picks out Sid Jackson. It's not looking good for Richmond now because
they're cutting them to pieces.
They are a bit, yes. Richmond seem to be panicking. They can't seem to take a trick and everything seems to be going against them. Here's Sid Jackson now, who's played quite a serviceable game so far. 20 yards out, slight angle, shouldn't miss this. Is not, right through the middle. And that's Carlton's 21st goal. They're getting closer to this record, which we spoke about before, of 22 goals, 18. They certainly must break that. And they're playing this game in a superb fashion. And the way Richmond is shaping up at the moment, you can't see them getting into a position of making a forcible comeback, because they just haven't got enough players who are winning the ball. Here's the centre bounce now as we see McKellar. Jones once again, he'd been a fantastic ruckman, winning many centre duels, gets the knock. It's a huge pack of players. Kevin Sheedy's in there, he's been a hard battler, but to no avail. Out comes Armstrong once again. The ball bounces over Walls' head. Barry Richardson let the ball go through for Bond. He goes for one bounce, the long one, up to the pocket. David McKay all on his own. Kevin Sheedy there, I think he realised he'd done the wrong thing and he went to apologise, just in case I think someone thought he might get reported. Kevin Sheedy's trying to stir up his side, I feel, using a Collingwood expression, stir up the stove, and it's just not working at this stage. McKay's kick up towards Stewart, two of them to spoil it. Kevin Bartlett there with the ball, gets a free kick as we see him break away now onto the left foot, up towards the goal square. Barm, McKay, a big pack of players, and it's Rex Hunt coming out with the ball. That's the second mark I think he's taken, Hunt. And this move to full forward will certainly be an improvement in the first half. He's taking the kick now. It's right to the middle. The kicking in this game has been tremendous. A great goal by Rex Hunt, and one badly needed. Unfortunately for the Richmond side, every time they get a goal, the Carlton side answers almost immediately, so it's to no avail. So right now they've just scored one a moment ago. They'll need to go on with the job now and get 2 or 3 quick ones to give them the heart they need.
21.5 minutes into the third quarter of the 1972 Grand Final. Waiting for the ball to be returned to umpire Della. There's another one. That's the 5th ball, the 5th new ball.
No, it's back, Mike.
Well, they don't need the 5th new one. There's Tommy Hafey. You can see him there in the shirt. He's probably wondering what he can do. I'm darned if I could offer any suggestion, Ron, could you?
Not really, Mike. He just hasn't had any good players to move around very much. There's the bounce. Jones once again gets a knock. Taken by Keogh. Keogh shrunk to the ground. A free kick given to that player. A very valuable player today for his side. He goes wide to the flank where we see Walsh again away from his man. This time it's Lucas running through, but he's under pressure from Walsh, who had time because of the bad bounce to Lucas to catch up to that player and put him under pressure.
Throw in on the half-forward flank for Carlton on the outer side of the ground. Knock away there by Jones. Taken by Robertson. Robertson down towards the pocket. The bounce. Sid Jackson's after it, but in comes Ian Stewart. Stewart, the triple Brownlow medalist, kicks into the centre of the MCG. Through comes Dill, picked up by David Dixon of Carlton. Jackson couldn't hold the mark, however. Oh, could be around the neck of Highwood, I would reckon. And Highwood of Richmond tries a hand pass over to Bartlett. He could have put him into trouble. Bartlett just gets his kick. It's a beautiful one, though, up to the half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground. Taken by Cumming. Cumming down forward. Barmer's there. Barm dropped the mark. He'll try it off the ground. But Southby very cleverly knocks the ball through for a deliberate behind. Very cleverly. Carlton at 21-9, 135. Richmond 14-11, 95. 40 points of difference in favour of the Blues. Southby about to kick out from the scoreboard end. We're 23.5 minutes into the third quarter of the 72 Grand Final. Hart's in there, but the ball is knocked away from him, however. Through they come. It's Stewart, tongue sticking out in characteristic fashion. Kicks to the forward pocket on the member stand side. Plenty of Richmond players there. Hart gets it across here towards Barm. Barm went off before the ball got to him. Here's a go for Bartlett. Bartlett from the pocket kicks. One behind. Richmond players striving desperately to pull this game out of the fire. This is the big one, the whole year down the drain, if they don't win it. And of course the same for the Blues. Bobby, can you see any moves that Tommy Hafey may make?
Stewart into the centre, possibly.
What he hasn't tried, Mike, I think Stewart is in the centre at the moment, Ron. What he hasn't tried, I really don't know what else he could do, but this time there's a typical example when you find a wingman the size of David Dixon marking uncontested from a fullback's kickoff. Dixon goes further around the centre wing position, looking for Walls. It comes through to Gallagher. Gallagher puts the ball high in towards centre half forward. Chandler from behind pulls in a sprinter, but the mark has been taken off Chandler as he pushed Walsh in the back. Wayne Walsh's kick Not a particularly good one. It's a wobbly old kick. There's players everywhere around Royce Hart. Sproul runs into Bartlett. Bartlett swings the ball around, drives it down towards the goal square, looking for Rex Hunt, but there's Southby there with him. Southby knocks the ball on. McKay takes the ball further across, gets Carlton out of trouble. It's a poor kick, but he's well backed up by his teammate in Jeff Southby. Southby's there over the ball, must get a free kick for holding the man. Jeff Southby, been a really good player. As we mentioned earlier, what Carlton player hasn't. Every player has done his job. The kick from Southby, it's a good kick, right into the centre of the ground. Jackson's almost a screamer up high over the pack. Armstrong, his kick smothered, it comes back to Keogh. Bartlett bursts through. Bartlett's been a good player this quarter for Richmond, trying to rally the side as Bartlett drives the ball down towards the goal square. McKay was up high. It comes back towards Neil Baum. He balks onto the left foot, almost falls, gets the left foot to the ball. A great goal by Neil Baum, his fifth. Neil Baum has really done his job as far as Richmond are concerned. He's kicked five out of their 15 as they go to 15 goals, 12. Trailing Richmond now by 6 goals, or 5 goals, 3 really. Richmond.
26 minutes into the third quarter. Can it be done, Bob? Can Richmond win it?
It can be done, Mike, but the odds are still against it. But nevertheless, they are closer than they've been for a long, long while. As Jones gets another knockout, it goes towards Lucas. McMillan comes in. It's Hurst of Carlton who comes in. He runs away towards the goals, but it gets it wide. Gallagher's out there all on his own. He has plenty of time. He steadies play up for Carlton at the moment, running around the boundary line. Now drives the ball in, looking for big John Nichols at the back of the pack. Boyness was up high. It comes down to Jezelenko. A hand pass across to Keogh. He's under pressure, but it looks like another goal. As Keogh kicks a glorious goal, his third.
Incredible.
Trevor Keogh puts it right through the centre. Again, edge Carlton further ahead as far as the scoreboard is concerned. Carlton go to 22 goals, 9. Richmond 15 goals, 12. And we've spoken about the highest score in a grand final.
They're 10 points off it. Right?
9.
That's right, Mike. 9 points off equaling it.
Well, I'm not much good at arithmetic, Chimp, as you know.
I didn't think you were. As umpire Della again bounces the ball. Jones and McKellar still the two ruckmen there. They've been there all day as Stewart grabs the ball. Can't get his foot to it, though. It comes back to Stewart. He's held a bit high. There's a pack of players there. And Stewart, you can see him appealing to Bill Della for the free kick, but Della decides to bounce it once again. A shocking bounce by Della. Up high there was Morris. It's taken by Hurst. He's under a lot of trouble. Dool gets the ball. Dool's kick goes straight through the centre of the ground. McKellar and Highwood spoil each other as Gallagher takes the ball away. Hooks it back, but he finds Barry Richardson. Now it's centre half back for Richmond. Or when I say now, it was during the second quarter that Richardson went to centre half back. Richardson's kick, it's not a good kick. It goes straight to Adrian Gallagher. When I say not a good kick, it was a shocking kick coming away from defence, and Gallagher's left unattended. And now it's Armstrong who's unattended. He's there. Thought about going wide to his teammate in Robertson, but went back almost in the dead centre of the ground. A lovely kick by Armstrong, driving the ball right down. Nichols from behind knocks the ball on towards Walls. He kicks the ball off the ground, and it's right through the centre as Walls kicks his 5th goal.
Gee.
We've got Walls at centre half forward with 5 goals. Jezelenko at full forward with 5 goals. Nichols in the forward pocket. He too has kicked 5 goals. And now Carlton are only 3 points off equaling the highest score in a grand final. Well, Richmond came back at one stage there. They were only 5 goals, 3 behind. But now they're back to 7 goals, 3.
And Carlton answering every challenge. Richmond get 1, they get 2, and that's the way it's going. Jones taps it to Chandler. Chandler goes wide to the flank on the outside of the ground, and there the mark is taken by Robert Walls. What a magnificent game he's turned in. Nichols calling for the ball. It's going down forward. It's not a very long kick. Jackson goes up, but he's getting a free. Couldn't hold the mark, and that was the reason.
McKellar's limping there, Mike. I think that his performance indicates that there is definitely something wrong with him. Not taking anything away from big Percy Jones, but McKellar has been limping a lot.
Jackson, who's kicked 1, is 30 yards out, directly in front. Puts boot to ball, and Carlton have broken the record. They've broken the record that stood since 1946. when Essendon defeated Melbourne in the grand final 22-18. Carlton are 24-9, 153. Richmond 15-12, 102. And we're 30 minutes into the third quarter. Oh, look at those Carlton supporters. And you can hear Ron Barassi, the former coach of Carlton, in the background saying, "You beauty." Well, he might. But don't sell Richmond out. They'll battle this out. Up they go. McKellar gets a tap down, but look at that. It's Dixon who picks it up for Carlton. Down towards Robert Walls. The ball's knocked away. Gallagher comes in there. Bond is after him. Bond just can't get the grip of the ball. He's still trying. Well played, Graham Bond. As he picks it up, he tries a hand pass. Through they come. It's Bond once again in the back for Bond for mine. Little tangle there. Umpire Della sorting it out. And it's Bond's free kick. Bond is on the wing position on the member stand side. The kick going in towards centre half forward for the Tigers. Up they go. Stewart is manhandled. No free kick. The ball picked up by Keogh. Keogh to the half forward flank. Jackson, yes. And Jackson, very cool, knew what he was about. Took the mark on the half forward flank on the member stand side. He's going to try and run around. He's going to run into trouble. Yes, he did. Highwood stopped him. And Jackson is still battling on, however. Dick Clay knocks the ball away. Nobody able to break clear with it. It's Chandler over to Jesselenko. And the Worm makes one of his very few mistakes in football. He stuck it over the boundary line on the full. Number 25. Dick Clay kicks from the half-back flank in towards the centre. Hart has the ball knocked away. Taken by Keogh. Keogh in towards centre half forward, and Robert Walls. 2 bites of the old cherry, but it's his. Walls, he's a long way out. Good 60 yards. Sends it down. It's dropping on the edge of the goal square.
A free kick.
Goes Neil Baum. A free kick. You heard Ron Barassi. What for, Barras? I was watching Neil Baum in the flight of the ball.
Boyce was holding Nick by the hand, and Nick couldn't get away. That's how it looked anyway. It might have been another way around, but it looked very bad from...
Nick might have been hanging on to him too, but anyhow, the umpire says it's John Nichols' free kick. He's kicked 5. He's exactly 11 and a half yards out, directly in front, and he puts it through for his 6th, and Carlton's 25th. 32 minutes into the third quarter. Look at that. 25-9, 159 to 15-12, 102. An incredible performance from Carlton. I've got to say it again, they haven't beaten Richmond in a finals game for 52 years. But boy, when they turn the tables, they don't mess around, do they? Back in the centre, Della bounces the ball. Jones goes there, but Stewart in the centre doing the ruck work as well. It's Baum over to Bartlett, and there's a bit of a punch up in the centre between Dixon and Sheedy. It's on. Plays down the other end. Royce Hart settling the boys down. And back there's a kick by McKellar for goals, and it's one behind. Craig McKellar, who played magnificently in their previous meeting, has really not had the best of days. Southby, great player. Kicks off from the scoreboard end to the half-back flank on the member stand side. Up goes Neil Baum as he battled all day. Sproul loses possession of the ball, taken by Chandler. Chandler's hand pass is intercepted by Bartlett. There's a chance for Bartlett from the pocket, but he's missed. It's a behind. Bartlett appealing for the free kick. But umpire Dallas says, not on your life, boy. 25-9 to 15-14. Coming up to three-quarter time. Waiting for Jeff Southby to kick out. Southby from the scoreboard end. He's going to come along the member stand flank. Another beautiful kick from Southby. Players move into position there. Up goes McMillan. McMillan of Richmond kicks across the face of goals. O'Connell and Cumming go for it. Cummings in the box seat, but he's met by Southby. Cumming still going. Cleverly taps it over to Rex Hunt. Hunt from an impossible angle kicks. Another behind. Richmond striving valiantly to get out of this. There's a Carlton player down there, Bob. Who is it? Dixon?
Mike, it's interesting to note that Richmond had only had 4 less shots than Carlton. It just shows the difference in the standard of play between the two sides.
Oh, look at that, a little short one from Southby to Dool. And Dixon looks very groggy as the ball is kicked towards Jones. And there's the siren ending the third quarter. And Jones reckons it's all over the way. He's held his hands up there. 3/4 time scoreboard in the 1972 Grand Final. Carlton 25-9, 159. Richmond 15-15, 105. The last quarter of the 1972 Grand Final at the MCG. Carlton and Richmond. We go into the final quarter with Carlton leading by 54 points. 25-9 Carlton to 15-15 Richmond. Richmond started this match odds-on favourites to take out the 72 flag, but Carlton are playing magnificently. The Tigers stirred up now by Kevin Sheedy. He gets it across to Bartlett. Bartlett down to the forward pocket. Cumming is backing back there. O'Connell knocks the ball away. A chance for McMillan. McMillan over towards Cumming. A hand pass here by Baum over to Barry Richardson. Into an open goal. It's there. Can Richmond get back? Can they? McMillan is off, rather McKellar is off. McKellar is off, and the whale, Brian Roberts, is on. Well, Ron Barassi, you pointed out midway through the third quarter, you thought Craig McKellar was injured. Apparently so.
Yes, Mike, and we see the big whale coming on now. Ex-South Australian, Western Australian, and about 16.5 stone. He hasn't played a full game for some time, so this won't matter because he's only got a quarter to play. There's Sid Jackson, been a great player. So is Paul Spell, who gets the kick for Richmond. Could be a free kick here, given to McMillan. And they certainly need every kick they can get. They've got a tremendous leeway to make up, but Richmond are a tremendously fit side, so we'll see what happens. There's the punch down from McKay, going towards Keogh. Been a great player today. He drives out to the wing position where Carlton, again, using the space as a punch across here by Dool. A great piece of work by Dool. Took punishment doing so, tapped on by Walls, the best man on the ground so far, to Jackson. He's down to Big Nick. Big Nick almost got a push in the back, but it comes through towards Highwood. He's in trouble because he's tackled by Gallagher. He's under pressure and bundled over the line, and could be a free kick. Yes, the umpire has picked out the free kick to Highwood. And Nichols guarding the mark, not even inside the ground. That's how keen Big John Nichols is. He's put in a superb performance himself today as Highwood kicks now to the half-back flank. Walls is in there, goes for the mark, goes to ground. Walsh, hand pass across to Bartlett. Players have been instructed, obviously, to handball to Bartlett, who's drifting around the ground, playing a great game. Coming through there, Southby relieves the pressure of the left foot up towards centre, where Dixon almost takes the mark. Spill, Bond there, the racer. He's got tons of space to go for a bounce, tons of pace, tons of space, goes for the kick. Not a good kick. Baum has the ball knocked away from him. Comes to Sheedy, the back pocket. Can he get a goal? Knocked over beautifully by Baum. A goal to Richmond there. Fantastic piece of work by Neil Baum. He's been a great player for Richmond today. Got it to to Ian Stewart, who quickly got his foot to the ball and scrambled through a goal. Richmond second, inside about 55 seconds, I would say. Mike, how's the time? Not that long?
We're 3 minutes, actually, Ron, into the final quarter of the 72 Grand Final. And Richmond started off with a deficit of 54 points in the final quarter. But they're picking up now. Can they go on with it? Carlton, they don't want to relax, or the flag won't be theirs. The flag that looked so surely theirs at 3/4 time. Here's Francis Burke picking up. Burke going for a run. It's a beautiful kick out towards the flank position on the outer side. You saw Sheedy held in by Dool. Dool tries a long hand pass over towards Dixon. Good play. Dixon with plenty of space in front of him. Puts his boot in, but it won't come off, however. Hart threw himself at the ball but got into trouble, but he recovers magnificently as a champion does. His kick over the centre towards centre half forward, and McMillan has taken the mark. McMillan plays on immediately. Here's a go, but a mark to McKay of Carlton. McKay of Carlton now over the centre, up towards centre half forward for the Blues. Jackson in front, the whale knocks the ball away. Too big and strong, taken by Armstrong. Armstrong up to the forward zone. Up goes Boyne, it's very high, but it's sharked by Gallagher. Gallagher across towards the worm. Jesselenko, it's his. Jesselenko's kick. He's got 5 on the board, and he is no more than 35 yards out, directly in front. Number 25, what a player. The ball being returned to Jesselenko. Very cool and calm about the whole business. Jesselenko, 35 yards out, directly in front, kicking up to the scoreboard end. Lining them up, really going for the doctor. It's on its way. It's a goal. That's his 6th. And Carlton momentarily steadying the on-flow of goals from Richmond. Bobby Skilton.
Well, what can you say, Mike, that the scoreboard doesn't? 26 goals, 9 Carlton. Richmond 17 goals, 15.
5 minutes into the final quarter of the 72 Grand Final.
Each time that Richmond come back, as has been the way all day, each time that Richmond look as though they're going to come back, you'll find Carlton steadying and, you know, equaling the score, and in many cases coming back with 2. As again, Jones gets a knock. He's been a great player all day. It comes through to Keogh, using his pace. Keogh hooks the ball back. The bounce of the ball beats both Walsh and Lucas. The ball coming through to Highwood. Highwood's there. He's got plenty of time to steady. His kick, though, there's a poor one off the side of the boot. Big Jones is up high, and Jones it is who takes the mark. One of Carlton's real stars today, Peter Jones, has not gone off the ball at any stage so far in this game. It's just short of centre half-back. Jones kick. It's a good kick from Jones, right down to the half-forward line. Walls punches the ball on. Lucas coming through. So too was Jesselenko. He knocks the ball through. Big Roberts is there. Jesselenko almost takes the ball away. Roberts knocks the ball out. It's taken by Clay. His left foot goes high. Up high was Neil Chandler. It comes through to McMillan. He's under pressure. Gets a hand pass through to Walsh. Walsh runs around. He beats Chandler on this occasion. Walsh's kick goes off the side of the boot, straight into the centre. We find Stewart playing it full forward, and he's right in the centre of the ground with Southby. Stewart's kick goes wide. The bounce of the ball goes straight back and beats Richmond. It's taken by Kevin Hall. He bursts through. A poor kick by Hall. Good play by Southby. It's knocked towards Hart, though. Hart with a long kick down over the half-forward line, but there's nobody home for the Tigers as O'Connell comes out from the back pocket to take a relieving mark.
Keogh's down in trouble.
Keogh in a bit of trouble at the moment, as we find O'Connell's kick. It's a high kick from O'Connell going towards Roberts, and Roberts takes his first mark. A long hand pass goes towards Morris. The bounce favours Morris on this occasion. He runs around. A long hand pass again finds Sheedy. He lines them up this time. It's going straight towards the big one. It's a goal to Sheedy. Kevin Sheedy, that's his first goal. You might wonder, if you've just started watching Interstate Viewers, why Sheedy is kicking goals, but he's been on the ball in the centre. One of the many moves that Tommy Hafey has tried. Scoreboard, Richmond 18-15, Carlton 26 goals, 9.
They've picked up 12 points so far, and we're 7.5 minutes into the final quarter. Richmond still desperately trying to pull this game out of the fire. Bill Dalla bounces the ball in the centre of the MCG. The whale, Roberts, uses his strength, taken there by Morris. Morris kicks down forward. Cumming and O'Connell go for the ball. Southby chips in there, taken by McMillan into an open goal. There's another one for the Tigers. That's McMillan's second.
And John Nichols is coming on. He senses that this could be a Richmond revival.
I was just about to say to you, can you sense danger yourself?
I can, Mike, because Richmond are a tremendously fit side, and they've struggled hard all day with no breaks going their way. Over the last few minutes, a few things have come their way, and they naturally have been lifted by it. So Nichols, as a good captain should, senses the situation, and he's taken himself from the forward pocket into the ruck for the first time in this match. There's the knock, goes to nobody in particular. Coming through there was Hart. On the ball is Hart. He's battling tremendously hard. Gets around everybody, goes long towards the square. This will be a crucial situation here as McKay has the ball, puts away, and there's Sheedy rushing in. He's kicked the goal. That's a goal to Sheedy. A great effort by Neil Baum. Contested very hard for that mark, and Sheedy coming through, kicked his second goal inside 2 or 3 minutes. So that's a great effort by Sheedy. He's been taken out of the centre, from the back pocket to the centre, now in the forward pocket, and he's scored 2 goals I suppose he hasn't scored a goal for about 3 years.
9 minutes into the final quarter. When you remember that Richmond started off 54 points down, and now they're only 30 points down. Can they take out the flag after trailing badly for so long? It's Bartlett kicking the ball down forward. McMillan misses a runner, but in comes Kevin Hall. It's Southby there. Southby's kick goes up towards centre-half forward for the Blues. They fly high. Hunt's mark for mine. Oh, it's going the other way. It's called play on, and it's Carlton into attack. Listen to the Richmond crowd. Jesselenko and Dick Clay doing battle. The ball forced over the boundary line, and there'll be a throw-in. John Nichols speaking to the runner, sending a message to somebody. We wait for the ball to be thrown in. Midway between the half-forward flank and forward pocket for Carlton on the outer side of the ground. The Blues kicking up to the scoreboard end. The throw-in takes place. Jones and Roberts. Jones using... or Roberts rather using his strength, gets it out. It's taken by Sproul. Sproul into the centre, and Barry Richardson has marked. Richardson, Nick on the mark. John Nichols. Richardson's kick goes towards the flank on the outer side of the ground. Sheedy and Dool doing battle. And I think Dool, it was tit for tat. And we'll find that the kick will be going Carlton's way by the look of it. Be taken by Dool. They didn't fancy that sort of treatment, apparently. The flying doormat, they call him. There's his kick. Going over the centre. Up towards the flank position on the outer side of the ground. Hunt, a hand pass over to Francis Burke. Burke towards centre half forward. But again we find Carlton in the way, this time in the person of Kevin Hall. Hall at the true centre half-back position. Goes wide to the wing on the outer side of the ground. Here's a go. Sproul is there, but the ball is knocked away from him. Picked up by Roberts. Roberts goes to punch it, changes his mind, eventually does so over to Bartlett. Bartlett coming around that outer flank now. Up towards the pocket on that outer side. Barham flies high. Here's a go. Stewart picks it up. Stewart steadies. He kicks. Right across the face of goals. The ball bounces. O'Connell. He's the saviour for Carlton. He's still going, O'Connell, but he's in awful trouble. Eventually gets his kick. Well done, son. But there's nobody home for the Blues. It's taken by Francis Burke. Burke gets it across here to Morris. Morris breaks clear, but his kick is smothered by Southby. It's taken by Walsh of Richmond. Walsh's kick is a long one down forward. It's swinging in, but through for one behind. No doubt about it, Bobby. They're going down fighting, if indeed they're going to go down, Richmond.
Oh, and how, Mike. This is a real fighting effort by the Richmond side. Every Richmond player has lifted his game at the moment. Carlton, as John Nichols sensed, Carlton, I think they thought the game was over. Richmond, knowing that they're a good side, refused to give in. 29
points of difference, and we're 12 minutes into the final quarter.
As Southby goes to the outer side of the ground, a good mark taken out there in front of the pack by Neil Chandler. Chandler copping one behind the ear to go on with. Chandler on the half-back line for his side. A high kick by Chandler, but it covers a lot of distance. Down to the half-forward line. Roberts can't take the mark. Walls comes through, quickly gets the boot to the ball. It goes wide on the half-forward flank. It's out of bounds. Bounced before the line, though, and we'll find a throw-in on the half-forward flank, outer side of the ground, with Carlton going to the scoreboard end of the ground. 29 points separating the sides as we find Peter Jones and Roberts. Roberts slips at the crucial stage. Jones knocks, is taken by Bartlett. He's under a lot of pressure, can't get the ball away from Keogh. There must be a ball up as neither player could take possession, and umpire Della comes in and does exactly that. As Della bounces, it's again, it's Jones and Roberts. Roberts gets a knock, looking for Boynich. Boynich gets a big punch. It's taken there by Bond. Bond's kick goes into the centre of the ground. McMillan was up high. It's punched away by Hurst. Then Stewart comes through. Stewart puts the ball onto the right foot. It goes towards Richardson. And Barry Richardson takes the mark at centre half forward. Richardson now playing at centre half forward. He's had a few moves today, like many of the Richmond players. He's kicked 3 goals. He's 60 yards out from goal. It's a lovely kick. It's offline. It's just a little short. A good mark by Dool. He plays on quickly, running around the boundary line. He goes to half-back, looking for Robertson in the centre. He finds Robertson. Robertson, a long hand pass to his skipper in John Nichols. And Nichols goes through the centre. A long kick. It finds Rex Hunt. And this time Hunt mark has been paid. Punted centre half back. He started the game there, was moved to centre half forward and to full forward. Now he's back. His kick's off the side of the boot. It goes towards Robertson and Burke. Both players tired at the moment. It's close to the boundary line. Robertson takes the ball over the line and will find a throw in centre wing position. Members stand side of the ground. It's John Nichols and Big Roberts. There's plenty of weight there. Nichols gets a knock down to Robertson. Robertson close to the line once again. He's bundled out of the way by Burke. And again we'll find a throw in almost the identical position. Again, a little bit Nichols and Roberts. Nichols in front, Roberts from behind. Gets a big knock, but he's right in the middle of John Nichols' back. John Nichols taking plenty of time, allowing his side to settle down. We're 15 minutes into this final quarter. As Nichols taking all the time in the world, saying to the whole Carlton side by his actions, steady play up. We need a goal at the moment. It's a lovely kick by Nichols. Goes to the half-forward line. Walls misses the mark. It comes through to Highwood. He's under pressure. Gets a hand pass through to Clay. Clay bursts through the pack. Looking into the centre. Roy's Hart was up high but couldn't take it. Chandler bursts through the pack. He looks for Walls. It's going towards him and Walls does. Walls takes the mark. There must be a 15-yard penalty, I'd say, as Ray Boyanich knocked Walls over. A foolish one by Boyanich Sanders. It puts him right on the square. Walls has kicked 5 from centre half forward. A great opportunity to bring up his 6th and steady the game for the Carlton side. Walls kick right through. You can see Peter Jones signalling that it's full points, and that's Walls' 6th. And Carlton go back to a 35-point advantage as they go to 27 goals 9. Look at the kicking, 27-9. Richmond 20 goals 16, 36 shots each, and yet there's 35 points separating the two sides. And it was mentioned by Ron Barassi, this is, you know, indicative of the difference in class between the two sides. We're going to find Gary Crane coming on as Crane's running around the boundary, getting ready to come on. Bill Della. There's Gary Crane. It looks like Gallagher being spoken to.
16 and a half minutes into the final quarter of the 72 Grand Final. Bartlett trying to come through with it. Couldn't get away. Hurst picking the ball up, handing it back to Bill Della. The bounce. A little into Richmond's territory, but the bounce brings it back right into the centre. You can see the circle there as Francis Burke comes out with the ball, and looks like Bill Della will bounce it once again. 35 points of difference, right, Bobby?
That's right, Mike.
There they go. Hurst gets up high. Had plenty of opposition, though. Keogh almost had it, but taken by David Dixon. Dixon a long kicked into the forward zone for the Blues. Jesselenko's there. He's smothered, however. Robert Walls takes it. Walls down forward. Jones knocks the ball away. Here's Jackson after it. He's got opposition. Highwood gets bowled over. Through comes Walsh. Walsh of Richmond pushing the ball in front of him. He's got possession. Oh, he's unloaded. He's unloaded. And Walsh's free kick, a hand pass over to Burke. Burke from the half-back flank on the member stand side, kicks towards centre half forward. They fly high. Stewart has the ball knocked away by Southby. Cumming gets it to Morris. Morris a long hand pass to Sheedy. Sheedy a short one. He's popped it through. Back to 29 points of difference. That's Sheedy's 3rd in this quarter, and we are at the 17 and a half minute mark into the final quarter of the 72 Grand Final. Barras.
It's tremendous, Mike, as Richmond have fought back wonderfully well, because they looked aside, gone at half-time, the same at three-quarter time, but they've put in an enormous effort, which has been particularly hard to do because they've had no players virtually in form. But every player has lifted himself up by the bootstraps today as John Nichols gets the big centre bounce knock. It goes toward Bond, who will go for a burn here, no worries at all. A hand pass across here to the 3-goal man, but it didn't come up because it wasn't a good hand pass by Bond towards Sheedy. The kick comes towards Sid Jackson. He's been a good player for Carlton today. Borkshaw, a punt. Will drive now up towards the square as Percy Jones is in the box seat, but it comes to Highwood, who hand passes. Has it snatched away by Jesselenko.
7 goals.
That's what they call the perfect interception.
18 and a half minutes into the final quarter.
That's again the answer that Carlton has brought out as Gary Crane comes on. And there's the score. Carlton 28 goals 9 to Richmond 21 goals 16, and Jesselenko's 7th goal, I think, puts him up amongst the equal record breakers for a grand final. I think he joins about 5 or 6 players, so I think everybody in the stadium, if they knew this fact, and I'm sure a lot do, would like to see Jesselenko get 8 and break the record.
Wonderful football from Carlton, but the Tigers, they'll still be in there fighting to the final siren. They still have hopes of winning it. Don't kid yourself about that. Waltz down to the half-forward flank on the outer side. Bill comes out on top. Over to Dixon. Desperate tackling from Sheedy. Look at this. Well played, Richmond. A hand pass to Morris. Morris to Bartlett. Bartlett down forward. McKay is running back, and he takes a safe mark in defence. David McKay of Carlton. He'll go along the outer flank. McKay's kick going deep to the flank position on that outer side. They fly high. It's taken by Gallagher almost, but it's Bartlett coming out on top. The umpire's whistle is gone, and a free kick going Carlton's way. Bill Della. There's Dixon. Three-quarter time. The doctor had a good look at him. I don't think he's feeling too happy at the moment, but in about 10 minutes' time, he might be feeling a lot happier than he is right now. Will Carlton hang on to take out the flag as Dixon kicks? His kick goes in towards the centre of the MCG. Lucas couldn't hold it. Through they come. Armstrong is there. The ball picked up by Roberts of Richmond towards centre half forward. And the mark taken by Kevin Hall of the Blues in defence. Hall at centre half back, about to drive Richmond out. Richmond still struggling. The do-or-die effort as we watch Hall. Hall's kick goes to the wing position on the outer side. Up goes Royce Hart, and a captain's mark taken by the great Richmond champion. His boots come off, but he kicks without the boot down towards the pocket on that outer side. Southby knocks the ball away. Through comes McMillan, couldn't get the run of it. Hurst is there. Hurst comes out with the ball. Well, what's the umpire going to do? He's going to bounce it. A bounce midway between the forward pocket and half-forward flank on the outer side for the Tigers. There's the big knock away. It goes to Bartlett. He's roving well. Bartlett swings it around towards the goal square. Here's a go. Sheedy. He could be paid it. Yes, he will. He'll be paid it. He's kicked three in this final quarter, and this could be his fourth coming up. He is only 15 yards out, directly in front at the 21-minute, or coming up to the 21.5-minute mark into the final quarter. Sheedy couldn't see him missing it. There it goes. Oh, good God, he has. Well, there you are, Bobby. I must have joned him, and I apologise for that, but I honestly couldn't see him missing it.
Well, I couldn't either, Mike, because Sheedy's normally a reliable kick. But when you kick a drop punt, you take a bit of a chance. Unless you drop it completely right, it can go straight off the boot, as that one did. 34 points now separating the two sides. Jeff Southby again lining up to go towards the outer side of the ground. It's a high kick, not a good kick in comparison to the normal Southby kicks, but it's punched clear of the pack, and it goes over the line, and we'll find a throw-in on the half-back flank, outer side of the ground. It's Jones and Roberts. Roberts was up high. Jones naturally would be tired as Bartlett's kick smothered by Doyle, gets a hand pass back to Armstrong. Armstrong now goes into the centre of the ground. There's Robert Wolves. Wolves bursts through, gets a hand pass across to Gary Crane. Crane grabs hold of the ball. His kick smothered. It's taken by Wayne Walsh. He comes through to the centre of the ground. A long kick down to the half-forward line. Almost a good mark to Kevin Hall, but as the players go on, it's Armstrong who grabs it, puts it wide. It's all Richmond's. We find Royce Hart there. Hart walks back. A long kick by Hart goes down towards the forward pocket. Baum comes out, almost a mark. It's now taken by Southby. Southby steadies play up with a long hand pass. It goes straight though. It's Sproul who grabs it, puts it back into the goal square. Up high was Sheedy, but couldn't take the mark. It comes through to Ian Stewart. He dives over the ball. So too does Hurst. McConnell kicks the ball off the ground, but already
just as well the whistle had gone.
Had blown the whistle to indicate that he was going to bounce the ball.
23 minutes into the final quarter. The bounce of the ball about to take place. You can see where it is. Only yards out from the Richmond goal. There goes Brian Roberts, taps the ball down. It's picked up by Ian Stewart. He swings around, he kicks, but he's hooked it around far too much, and it's out of bounds on the full. David McKay will take the resultant kick. McKay, number 43 for Carlton. Carlton look like going on to the 72 premiership. And what a night there'll be tonight. A hot time in the old town. Here comes McKay. McKay's kick. Out to the half-back flank on the outer side of the ground. Hart in front takes the mark. He's about to play on, and he gets the gift as Gallagher falls over. Southby there, taken by McKay, however. McKay straight into no man's land there, coming at it from all angles, as you can see. The ball being juggled there by Chandler. Chandler comes out with it, hooks it around. He gets it across here towards Armstrong. Armstrong to the centre half forward position. Jesselenko is completely surrounded. They're on top of the ball, and there'll be a ball up at the centre half forward position for Carlton. Carlton are 28-9 to Richmond 21-17. The knockaway, Jackson comes in there, picked up by Dick Clay. Clay goes out to the flank on the outer side of the ground. Bond couldn't control it, he runs into Jesselenko. Jesselenko in a lot of trouble there, and he could get a free. Look at this. Temper's getting a little frayed out there. As Jesselenko, he's a long way out. He'd have to kick this 80 yards to put it through. He's kicked 7. And I'll tell you something, he's going to have a go at it too. It'll be a mammoth kick if he does put it through. Up it comes. It's on its way, it's dropping on the edge of the goal square. The ball taken by Cumming. He tries a hand pass over towards Clay. Clay of Richmond gets his kick to the wing position on the outer side. The players racing for it. Sproul is there. Sproul comes out on top. A hand pass over to Barry Richardson. Barry Richardson in trouble. Back to Sproul. Sproul of Richmond in towards centre half forward. Players fly high. The ball's knocked away from Stewart by Southby. Goes to Armstrong. Armstrong with a half forward flank for Carlton on that outer side. Up goes Walls. He knocks the ball away from Bond. Bond is close to the boundary line. Good play. A hand pass over towards Cumming. Cumming runs into Keogh but keeps going. Cumming picks up his kick. Goes to the half forward flank on that outer side. Barry Richardson going for it there with Southby. Southby almost put a policeman over the fence. And the policeman must have shuddered a bit to see two hulking footballers bearing down on him full speed ahead. There'll be a throw-in on the half-forward flank for Richmond on that outer side. Jones, a tireless effort today, but I think he's pretty well gone now. Ball picked up by Cumming. The kick smothered. The chance for Dixon. He couldn't clear it, however. Picked up by Jones. An awkward sort of hand pass goes to Kevin Hall. Hall to the half-forward flank for Carlton on that outer side. And Hunter one-hander. And look at this. Play goes on. Out comes Highwood with the ball. Highwood of Richmond on the wing position, but he's weary. He dropped it, but he hand passes over to Bond. Bond steadies and a long kick down forward. Barmer's there, but look at the opposition he's got. They fly, and it's a mark Richmond's way to Hart. Hart's kicked 1 goal. He would be 45 yards out. He's on an angle, kicking to the Richmond end goal. On its way, it looks pretty good from here. And a goal to Richmond. A goal to Richmond coming up to the 27-minute mark into the final quarter. And 28 points of difference. Bobby, could you see them doing it?
Well, I can't really, Mike. Time's running out. We're into time on now, and there's still 28 points, so it's 5 goals that Carlton actually are in front. And I can't see Richmond, as tired as they are, kicking 5 goals in time on of a grand final. But Richmond, you know, they are not going to be denied as they still keep fighting. Gallagher grabs the ball. His kick smothered. It comes back to Gallagher. He puts it down. Through came Walls. Goes through to Lucas. Lucas drives the ball. It's off the side of his boot. Peter Jones is there. He's dog-tired, Jones.
Oh,
Dick Clay using his pace. Clay's there. Jones had nothing left in his legs at all. As the ball goes wide, it's Jackson and Dixon. Jackson leaves the ball for Dixon. He walks around his opponent, steadies play up, puts a short one in and finds Jesselenko. And you can be certain that it'll be a while before Jesselenko kicks the ball because he's going to take all the time in the world. Jesselenko obviously being told, and you could see him nod to Bill Dalla, that Bill Dalla had told Jesselenko, hurry it up a little bit. Jesselenko's kick, it's a lovely kick from Jesselenko, right down to the pocket. The pack fly in front was Boyanich, and it's Boyanich who takes the mark. He plays on quickly with a hand pass, finds Bartlett. Bartlett steadies play up and drives the ball further around, but it finds Dixon. He has the ball knocked away, gets one to go on with. Chandler gets it, hand passes back to Dixon. He left foots the ball down. It's right down, but it's all Richmond.